Alright, everybody. At surface level, this might seem like the kind of topic that's just odd for me to get involved with, because, you know, it's just kind of YouTuber drama. But considering it has to do with the issue of, you know, capitalism, markets, making businesses, and, you know, the finances of, you know, big YouTubers as opposed to their audiences, I do feel that there is a somewhat, you know, political lean to this entire situation, or at least some input that a political figure could give on this, especially from a progressive perspective. And in this case, I'm talking about a very popular and immensely successful tech YouTuber named Marques Brownlee. If you're not aware of what he does, I mean, generally considered to be some of the most fair, balanced, real deal, like, no bullshit tech reviews out there. And he is so large and so popular and has such a platform, and tends to, even when giving negative reviews about certain products, be so professional that he gets invited to make videos showcasing and testing out so many different emergent tech products that many, even famous people, wouldn't even have a hope of seeing for years into the future. So this guy, big YouTuber, big deal, right? Here's the thing, though. He's known as someone who you can trust in regards to, you know, just telling you, hey, this product is overcharging you for this or that feature. You can get this feature or something better or equivalent or just a little worse for way cheaper on this product. Like, he does that kind of stuff, right? And a lot of his content is centered around the idea of calling out predatory business practices in the tech world and, you know, encouraging and helping his audience to make good financial decisions about it. And that's a big point of these tech videos. It's why so many people put their faith in these YouTubers, and why they get so many views is because these YouTubers help them decide whether or not they want to spend money on something. However, Marques Brownlee is under fire right now because he has announced that he is going to be releasing an app that it is a subscription service app that gives you wallpapers. You can get the low quality version of the wallpaper for free with the free version of the app, but if you get a subscription, you can get the HD versions, and it's basically just an app where you can get wallpapers, something that you've always been able to do through, like, Google Images, so I don't know why these apps need to exist. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like Wallpaper Engine, but for phones, but Wallpaper Engine is free, so it's weird that you would be charged. I mean, I've never been charged with Wallpaper Engine. I don't even know if there is a way to pay for it. Is it free? I think it's free. Maybe it's not. I've had it for a long time, so I don't even remember if Wallpaper Engine is free or not. You guys will have to tell me. Anyway, it seems a little weird, especially for, like, a tech YouTuber to just suddenly come out and say, people are always asking me where I get my phone screensavers from. Well, now you always know it's from this app. Like the announcement of this brand that he is now selling felt really weird, you know, for a guy who has been made famous and, you know, is known for his sincerity and his, you know, just being real with people and telling them whether or not they should spend their money on something. The way that he just kind of references something that, let's be real, do you really think that fans of his were always asking, where do you get your wallpapers? Where do you get your wallpapers? Oh my god. That doesn't seem real to me. Like, that, he's a big YouTuber, don't get me wrong. Maybe someone's asked him that before, but that just seems so, I don't know. It just seems so weird and out of nowhere. And it's, you know, clearly a company that he's starting, not as a passion project like he said, but because it's an income stream. And just like any other business person, he wants to make more money. And a lot of people kind of see it as hypocritical. I'm not attacking him for this, by the way. Like, I haven't really even taken a hard stance on this whole situation. I don't even know how to feel about it. I do think there is, you know, some level of validity in feeling that's a little bit hypocritical, though. And I think this is just part of an evolving trend on YouTube where we have gone from very early on, YouTubers were never allowed to make money. I know this sounds crazy, but if you go back to like 2010 and before, the idea of YouTubers making money through donations or even through AdSense was seen as selling out, or at worst, or at best, it was seen as e-begging. At worst, it was seen as selling out, right? And people did not like the idea of online content creators making money for their work online, making entertaining content. That was something that was heavily stigmatized on YouTube for a very long time. And around 2011, 2012, as Justin TV/Twitch started to get to be a thing, the donation subscription model of like supporting YouTubers and AdSense getting bigger, kind of normalized a little bit. Just everybody kind of unanimously agreed, all right, we're not giving each other shit for monetizing anymore. There was a time, by the way, when like the monetization system was introduced and there would be YouTuber beef over another YouTuber getting monetized, like agreeing to monetization, and like other YouTubers would call them out, like, you sold out, you're running ads on your videos now to make money, you sold out. Like, this was that was discourse back then in like 2010, 2011 YouTube. And slowly over time that changed, and it feels like in 2016 to 2018 we hit this critical like point where nobody gave a fuck how content creators made their money. It felt that was as bad as it could ever get in that way, where there were creators crypto scamming and like rug pulling their audiences. If you don't remember, that was when Logan Paul did the crypto zoo thing with the egg thing around 2020, 2019. Only now we've entered an era where we've got Mr. Beast doing the Lunchly thing. I mean, every YouTuber, Logan Paul, KSI, they're all getting into starting their own businesses and using their platforms on YouTube to start companies that advertise, at least at the start, solely to their audiences. That got them to where they are. And I really don't know how I feel about that. I don't necessarily feel a revulsion to it by default, but I also am not thrilled about it. And it feels like we started way too far in the direction of YouTubers are not allowed to, make money off of what they do. It's bad. It's immoral. And then swung way too far in the opposite direction to who cares if YouTubers are doing crypto rug pulls on their fans, as we saw with Logan Paul. Or maybe it was Jake Paul. God, I can't tell those douchebags apart. And then nowadays, we're in this, like, I don't know where we're headed. I don't know where we're headed. Is YouTube swinging back to a point where we're going to have like a very low tolerance for these things? Because in some respects, I think that's a very healthy direction for us to go. Have you guys noticed that like it's just totally normal for YouTubers to have scam sponsorships now? Like big YouTubers, like from scam freemium mobile games that are meant to like use addictive like gambling mechanics to pilfer money from people who are susceptible to it, to things like BetterHelp, which is still, despite the massive drama that happens, still sponsoring big YouTubers all over the place. Fume, that fake bullshit like alternative to vaping, where it's like, oh, you're breathing in flavored air. I've looked up actual real people reviewing those things. It's garbage. It doesn't work. That one product that's like a water bottle that you put flavor rings on, or smell rings around the tip of, so the smell is supposed to change the flavor of the water. Complete bullshit. Raid Shadow Legends, established titles. How many of these different things or things like it have you seen? Yeah, Air Up water bottle, yeah. NordVPN is not a good, solid VPN. It's only useful for watching TV shows in other countries, which is all most people, like, really need a VPN for. But if you're someone who wants to do, like, I don't know, like white-collar hacking or something, God's sakes, don't use NordVPN. It's advertised like it's that secure, but it's garbage. Yeah, like, these programs, these products are objectively garbage. Like, they are scam products. And it feels like there's this established standard on YouTube right now to just, like, everybody just doesn't look too deeply into the sponsors they take on, you know? And they shamelessly read something that's obviously a script, you know, as well. You ever hear that whenever it's a sponsorship that's, like, so obviously a script, you know? The only time I've ever taken a sponsor was when they told me that they would send me a free water bottle to test and try out, and I could decide on whether I wanted to take the sponsorship then. And I was like, okay, if you're actually willing to do that, you've got my attention. If I can try the product with no cost, if for free, no agreements, and then decide whether or not I want to be sponsored by this product? Okay, I'll try it. And so they send it to me, and I filled it up with ice and water. It's called the coldest water bottle. Not sponsored anymore. Haven't been for years, by the way. But I fill it up, and, it's just a cold bottle of water. I drink from it, and I might have drinking like half of it before I went to bed, and I left it sitting next to my pretty warm PC, which was running all night. And mind you, I lived in Southern California, so it was just hot to begin with. And I woke up, and it was like 12 hours later, maybe, because I really slept in, and I felt the water bottle, expecting that I needed to go take it to the sink and like open it and pour it out and put some more ice and water in there after cleaning it. But I grabbed it, and it was cold to the touch, like cold to the touch. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I took a sip, and I felt the ice jingling around. And it's like, this is mostly ice in here. Like, it was so cold in there that the ice had frozen together into a big like lump of ice and was now keeping the water even cooler for even longer. I tested it to see how long the ice stayed frozen, and it was like 2.5 days. And at that point I was like, yeah, no, they're called the coldest water bottles, and they're advertised as water bottles that keep your shit cold for a long time, and it gets the job done. And I'm using it, so I'll take it. I'll take the sponsorship. But even that, I wonder if that's fully, like, good, right? Is it good to take sponsorships? I want to have that conversation because it feels like we're entering an era where YouTubers are just kind of looking the other way when it comes to sponsorships, going by this logic of it's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission in regards to taking on these sponsors. Like, well, if I end up taking on a scam sponsor, I can always just apologize, say I didn't know, how could I have known? I'm actually the victim here, and everything will be fine. And it really does seem like that's the point that we're at. I bought a coldest water bottle because of you. Oh, how did you like it, Straw Hat Monty? Have you, like, filled it with ice and left it for, like, a day or 2 days and seen what I'm talking about, where that shit just does not melt? It's the best, yeah. It's a good water bottle. That's the only reason I took the sponsorship, is I was genuinely shocked at how good it was. I was like, fuck, dude, I don't even need a script to read to praise this product. Is it because YouTube is underpaying YouTubers, or do they just want more money? Here's the thing. Yes, YouTube is underpaying YouTubers. Granted, CPMs vary based on the content creator, so you never know if a YouTuber is getting underpaid. I think my CPM is actually pretty reasonable for the content I do. Like, you would think that doing, like, controversial political content, I'd have a really low CPM, and I do, but it's also, I think, higher than most in the political scene. I might be wrong, though. I could actually be way on the lowest end of things, but I don't feel like I'm getting too scammed compared to other content creators, but every YouTuber is getting scammed, generally speaking. Yeah, you're getting paid like fractions of a cent per view, which just seems weird. Like 10 views is worth like fractions of a fraction of a cent, right? But besides that, I want to point out that these big YouTubers like Marques Brownlee, KSI, Logan Paul, Mr. Beast, these are massive YouTubers who make ungodly amounts of money a month. Like per month, they are making enough to live on forever as a normal person, and then some, like with plenty to leave as like an inheritance. And so it's hard for me to justify these business actions as one's taken to secure their financial future when these are big YouTubers who are already rich and living ridiculously luxurious lives. They're making investments to start businesses to elevate themselves beyond where they are within the 1% or the 0.01%. I think Pyrocynical said it best when he said YouTubers can never have enough money. Yeah, like why do the biggest... Maybe it is the drive for more money that makes these YouTubers the biggest. They just can't stop grinding, like Mr. Beast with his like constant obsession with grinding and making content and getting bigger. But like... And that does get you to the top, I guess. But I don't know. I could never like see myself not being satisfied with like a day of Mr. Beast's income. Like if I could make Mr. Beast's income for one day, I genuinely think I'd be satisfied for life. Not for one, I think I could live off of that like forever, but I'd be pretty satisfied with it too. You know, like I wouldn't feel, I wouldn't feel like I'd want more. You know, maybe it's those people who just can't stop wanting more that end up in these really high positions, and that's why they keep on starting their businesses to make even more money. Because that's the thing I want to remind you of here. We're talking about people who are already millionaires, and then they're like, I need more money. I need to start another business. It's like, okay. There is one and sole reason why anyone would do that, and it is because they just want more money to have more money. And it's completely subjective whether or not you think that is a mark on someone's moral character. But to get a little deeper into all of this, into the details of the drama, a YouTuber named Lessons in Meme Culture, who does really short, concise breakdowns of anything that's relevant online right now.
Marques Brownlee.
Well, there we go. It plays automatically when you put it in full screen, even though I had it paused. So this guy does really good breakdowns of dramas like this that are relevant and just gets through them really fast. So let's go ahead and watch it and see if there's any details that I forgot to bring up that might, you know, be worth considering before I give my full opinion on this.
Marques Brownlee, aka MKBHD, has released a product of his own after years of reviewing. But as it turns out, the reviews for his wallpaper app, Panels, have not been terribly great. Much of his audience is calling him out of touch because he is charging $50 a year for it. Dolan Dark did the research and tried it out, and as it turns out, most of the wallpapers are actually free, but you have to either watch ads or pay if you want the high definition versions. It's a pretty classic freemium pricing strategy, making the free side inconvenient to use until you're worn out and just have to pay for the convenience of not having ads. Some are even likening it to selling NFTs, pointing out the fact that most wallpapers can be saved and downloaded for free very easily.
Fair, yeah. There is a certain... I do think that the idea... I don't know how the monetization system works with the platform. Maybe he's got like a system for people to become artists on the platform and to make money from it and to get a commission from downloads that are done by like premium users. That could be a nice like thing, but obviously he's not doing that for the kindness of giving these artists like a platform to make money from. He's doing it to make himself money. That's just a useful benefit. Same situation as YouTube. Like YouTube doesn't give us YouTubers money as a cut of our viewership because they want us to have a platform that we can make a living off of and make entertaining content. They do it because our content is the product that they can make money off of through your viewership.
Marques is being forced to change how it all works at this stage, to find a happy medium between customer experience and profit motive. He's talking about implementing less ads and is taking the feedback completely in his stride. On that note, it's great that he's been super professional about it, unlike the reactions to the Lunchly products on the end of KSI and Logan Paul, whereupon they started blaming everyone else for negative press. It's so easy for influencers to absolutely blow up as a reaction to negative.
Hey chat, should I buy a Lunchly and eat it on stream and then like have like a blood packet to like lean off camera for like a second? Like, oh, I could do it like this. I could just like sleight of hand the blood packet in my mouth and then pop it in my mouth and just like, and pretend like I'm dying. And just end stream. And then upload that segment on YouTube called I Tried Mr. Do Not Try Lunchly. And the thumbnail is just me with the fake blood coming out of my mouth. You'd scare the shit out of me. Well, now you know it's coming. You know, it'd be the people that haven't come to this stream that are like checking in for that stream that would be reacting to it. That would be such a funny bit. I need to do that. That might get you over 1 million views. It might, but the audience it would bring in would not be the kind of people I want. I don't like. I would maybe get like, you know, 10,000 subs from that, but they would be like 10,000. Maybe there'd be some good people mixed in there, but I feel like filtering from like that normie population, I don't know if I'd want those people. I feel like my topics that I cover, bringing in people that are interested in those topics, has grown me an audience, especially lately, that's been far more pleasant than being part of the left-wing space and gaining subs from any level of networking or mentioning or shout-outs. Like, those subs I've gained from shoutouts or collaborations have proven to be some of the worst people in my fan base. I'd kind of... I don't want to have like a big viral video that just brings in a bunch of normies, because then I got to deal with those normies. Eating the Among Us lunchly at 3 a.m. gone sexual.
Criticism, so to see him say that feedback is actually welcome is refreshing. Although people discovered that back in 2016 he posted the words, "Golden rule number 1 of the internet, never try to charge for something that was already free for future reference," only to charge people for wallpapers almost 10 years later.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, a lot of these YouTubers get really big off of, you know, preaching the same type of rhetoric that I said just a minute ago. And how would you guys feel if I said all of that, but then like 5 or 10 years from now, I was like a millionaire off of YouTube and had, you know, plenty of money to live off of. But then I announced, guys, I'm starting my own, I don't know, what would be something I'd start? I'm starting my own, cookie brand, we'll just say. You know, I'm starting my own cookie brand. It's just, this is my passion, and you know, please buy it, please support it, but this is my passion. It's not to make money, trust me guys, it's just my passion, I promise. Like, it would have to be something that's like, it makes no sense though, in the case, like, to be analogous to this. Like, who has a passion to start a wallpaper hosting app? Like, it's just so hyper specific and odd. Lamps, yeah. I'm starting a lamp company. Is it good, though? I mean, let's say it's all right.
And at the end of the day, one has to wonder how harsh the man himself would be if he saw another YouTuber releasing this product. Would he describe it as a scam or a terrible app? Or would he deem himself fair and just for selling wallpapers that may or may not be AI generated depending on the actions of the artist? At the end of the day, the world is going through complete subscription fatigue, and that is the heart of this problem. Streaming services are already extremely pricey, and yep.
That's true. I will say, isn't it interesting how we're getting to the point now where they're just going to bundle streaming services together? Like, all the biggest streaming services together are just bundled into, apparently it is cheaper than cable, though. People have done the math, particularly if you get the bundle options for a lot of these subscriptions, and it is cheaper to get like all of these mainstream streaming services at once than it is to have cable. Like modern day cable. Yeah. Cheaper than cable for now. That's true. I could definitely see these subscription prices continuously inflating until we've been like monopolized into being forced to pay these prices if we want to have easy access to this media.
Perhaps a few dollars extra per month might not look like much, but when it's on top of a massive catalog enforced by media companies, it really does add up to an unsustainable amount for many. In short, the idea of charging fans for a wallpaper app has got the internet riled up against one of the most famous tech reviewers in the world. So it'll be interesting to see if this will have an impact on Marques Brownlee's reputation going forward. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in?
So yeah, very good video by Lessons in Meme Culture. Really does a good job of breaking down the situation. I do think we're in a really weird era right now where YouTubers are openly taking scam sponsorships. And I mean it. Like, God, like, how many times have you guys seen a blatant... How many times have you seen a sponsorship for any of these scam companies? And there's some of these that I don't even know are scams, but let's be honest, considering that most of the products, if not every product besides like a couple, are sponsoring these YouTubers that have been scams, these ones probably are too. Fume, Air Up, Raid Shadow Legends, BetterHelp, Established Titles, what else? Rocket Mortgage, I think might be a scam. Like, based on how it's advertised, it's like, you can do that all yourself. That seems like a scam. Genshin Impact is advertised. That's gambling for kids. Manscaped is overpriced self-grooming stuff that you can get for way cheaper. Skillshare, definitely a scam. God, what else? What else? Like, ZocDoc. Oh my god. Dude, ZocDoc sounds fucking sus. Every time I hear Philip DeFranco shilling ZocDoc to his fans, oh yeah, use this program that's like totally, I'm sure Philip DeFranco has done his due diligence. despite having once been sponsored by established titles, a scam. I'm sure he's done his due diligence with this ZocDoc program. I've literally never heard of ZocDoc. Dude, it's so sussy. It's so fucking sussy. It's a program or a website that's supposed to help you find good doctors. And maybe it's good, but man, these other things that YouTubers shill, and considering how shady those other things are, I would not be surprised if ZocDoc is also a scam. And when it comes to health scams being pushed by big YouTubers, that's a whole different ballpark. Ground News. Yeah, Ground News also just seems shady. Like, just like a cringe, like, centrist, masturbatory thing, you know? I don't know how I feel about Ground News. It just feels so weird that we're in this era where these, like, clearly scam sponsors, in the case of a handful of those, and some really shady ones as well, are just openly sponsoring the biggest YouTubers out there, and no one's calling it out because everyone is taking those sponsors and no one wants to shit where they eat. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this, it's like, God, I don't know what else to refer. It's almost like the molestation within the Catholic Church. Like, every YouTuber is either doing it or complicit in it because they don't want to, like, stir the pot and get themselves into trouble if they're not involved, or they're taking these shitty sponsors themselves or want to one day get them and don't want to harm the landscape of how easy it is for YouTubers to make money. Listen, I've occasionally seen old videos like pop up in my recommended and autoplay that have old established titles ads on them, and man, were those ads heavily, it was a scam. People were buying those thinking they were actually owning small amounts of land in, I think it was Ireland or Scotland, if I remember correctly, and that legally made them a lord. They were buying it so they could get what they thought was an official lordship. They were selling a non-existent product and lying to people to convince them that it was real. I had a girlfriend that was obsessed with that news app. Ground News seems like a masturbatory centrist, like, echo chamber fueler. Like, it's advertised as something that's meant to help you stay out of an echo chamber, but it actually makes it easier to only look at like news sources that are on your side if that's what you filter for. And so it makes it easier to specifically knowingly seek out an echo chamber. So that's like part of it. And it feels like it's part of like a masturbatory cult of centristness, and like, I have a well-read, balanced source of news. You know, on one side I read stories about how Haitians are eating dogs, and on the other side I read about how Kamala Harris is planning to bring about an opportunity economy. You know, I have a very well-balanced media diet. It comes off like that to me. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys think about this change in content creator culture to call out this stuff. I think Dan TDM did a really good job when he called out this weird trend of YouTubers just doing anything and everything to make more money, even when they're already millionaires, and how it just feels like such a stark difference compared to the passion that this site was built on back in the day. Maybe it's inevitable. Maybe it's just something we shouldn't even care about and should accept and just let happen. But I'd like to hear you guys and your opinions on it. Comment them down below, of course, because I am curious. And it does, of course, help the channel a lot as well. So thank you to everyone who leaves a comment too. Consider liking this video if you enjoyed. No matter when, where, or what you're watching from me, every single thumbs up goes a long way to boost my content in the algorithm. And it really does help a lot. I appreciate it a ton. And of course, consider following my social medias linked down below in the description. Join my fan Discord if you haven't already, as that is the main hub of my fan base. It's totally free to join, and I host events such as gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, which I'll be hosting tonight in my Discord, by the way. So make sure to be there. And I also do announcements for all my new uploads and streams there, so you won't end up missing anything. Oh, and as Lefty Jenna did a good job of reminding me, if you want to help in these final months in joining the fight against Trump's campaign to help progressive candidates, particularly in this general election, Kamala Harris, take office and keep Republicans out, Republicans who have basically fully embraced fascism at this point, then consider joining Progressive Victory or any other political group that is local to you that is pushing for progressive candidates. You can phone bank, you can door knock. We are in a stage of the election right now where your participation with these groups is more important than ever. People in America have a bit of amnesia, like Trump left office with the worst approval rating ever, and yet he still has a chance of winning this election. People have amnesia about these things, but we're in these final months where that amnesia effect is going to be far less strong, and people are going to remember, say, phone banking conversations or canvassing conversations you have with them when they show up at the polls. We're only a couple months out. So please consider getting involved with a political group. Doesn't even have to be Progressive Victory. Just get involved. These final months are crucial. Voters are going to remember the things they hear in these final months when they are at the polls. So consider it if you want to get involved. And of course, if you want to support me directly, you've got the money for it and you feel like doing so, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to me on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or joining or buying merch, the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.